guys, and welcome to another video by Channel Vegan and Frodo. Of course, many of you may know that I absolutely, totally love art, and I've gone to art school in the past. I've done different kinds of art myself, and of course, being here in the Northern Territory, I could not miss the opportunity to really have a look through the most amazing thing out there, very rare Aboriginal art. So let's get on to it, and I'd love to show you more. Now, during my travels today, I was lucky enough to find a really cool place. It is called Didgeridoo Hut, and I'll show you just the name right here. And a really cool thing about this place, it's a little art gallery where you can buy art pieces created by Aboriginal people. And a really cool thing about this gallery specific compared to a lot of other ones is it is owned by an Aboriginal person, Aboriginal man, and his family. And what they do in their gallery is that they get different Aboriginal people who do different types of art, Aboriginal art, come in and paint it in store sometimes. They make didgeridoos, they make big canvas paintings, they make little boomerangs and other ornaments, and it's absolutely, you should visit it. I think you would be pleasantly surprised. You will learn a few new things, and it might sound a little bit strange, but before visiting it, I never really kind of gave much thought to the difference that there is in all the different types of Aboriginal art out there. And here in this video, I'm going to touch on a few of those. Now, I have acquired a couple of boomerangs. I think they're really cool. They look very interesting, and this one has this big crazy hook. Now, I decided to opt out for these two boomerangs just because they're really different to me. I'm used to usual boomerang, that we have an even size, curvature, symmetrical from both sides. So I wanted to get something different. But in this video, through the video, I'm gonna show you different things and different pictures to explain myself a little bit better. So now, while I have you here, and I'm gonna flip you around to show the work a little bit closer in the close-up. This one is a hunting boomerang. So as you can see, this side is much longer than this one, and there's a bit of a curvature to it as well. Still very smooth. Obviously this one is an art piece, and in real world, they're much sharper. This one, on the other hand, actually sounds very evil, but it's a killing. Same as hunting, really. It's I know it's not really vegan friendly, but I just think it's very interesting, and I want to share this information with you, by the way, for the vegans that are sitting out there. I'm not promoting, obviously, animal killing, but I just thought it's an interesting thing to share about the art and the way things have been done in the past. So as you can see, this one, it has a bit of a hook, and this one has been, in the past, the boomerangs have been used. They were actually never originally designed to return to the sender. They were used to kill or injure animals for Aborigines people who lived in the wild, obviously, before agriculture and before all of that. And they also were used when Aborigines people were fighting each other, because with this sort of thing, I mean, it was not this nice, beautiful and smooth. It was really rough and hardcore and sharp. And they were used when people were fighting each other back in the day as well. By the way, just a quick mention, in the place, I'm going to show the name again. Here you go, Didgeridoo Hut. I'm also going to leave their name down in the description below. At the back of their artworks, they actually put the face of the artist at the back. Now this one doesn't have one because it was done by the owner, and when you purchase your little boomerang, so any kind of item, piece of art, you actually get a description of the artist. You get their photo, you get their backstory, and you get a description of what is it that they have made, what the art represents, and so on. So I'm excited to show you a bit more of a close-up of these two. The artwork, we're not really looking at what they were used for now. We're going to look at the actual artwork, which I think is pretty cool. So this one obviously has a lot more dots. It's quite interesting. This one is more of a lines. There is also another type of art that has been done by Aborigines people that you might have seen in the past a lot of, and I will show you here on the picture. And it is this other type. I know it's on an iPad, but it will give you an idea. This is a desert art, just like this one. So they're going to talk about two different types of art. One of them is the desert, and the other one is Kanwanki art, which is this one. So the desert art is clearly based on the location of the artist, of where the people were from, whilst this one is actually translated to the river people. So this is a art of Kamwaki. Kamwaki is actually the freshwater people. Now Kamwaki art was done by traditional painters from Arnhem where they paint with grass, as you may have seen on some of the videos that are out there. I've been seeing actually quite a lot of videos of Aboriginal artwork being completed. So the paint with grass, the stem of freshwater reed that has many fibers inside. These are paired to the thickness required for the skin of the group. The thickness of the lines and the way they're applied is very important. Besides skin, they can also tell clan and country of the artist. Only 4 of the colors, only 4 ochre colors are used. As you can see, there's only 4 colors, and all of these are nice little straight lines because they've been done using grass, stem of the grass that is found growing near the water where the people live, people who create this kind of art live. Yellow is for the sun, red for the blood of Mother Earth. She bleeds for you when you're born and when you die. White is used for body. Black has a secret meaning, but is also the charcoal rubber into cuts to create raised scars for tribal markings. Now, what this really made me think about actually is the Aborigines flag. Now, as you can see here, the Aborigines flag has a yellow middle representing the sun. It has black representing Aborigines people and red representing the earth. And an interesting thing, I think, is that Australian Aboriginal flag represents Aboriginal Australians. It is one of the official flags of Australia and holds special legal and political status. It is often flown together with the national flag and with the Torres Strait Island flag, which is also another official Australian flag. Australian Aboriginal flag was designed in 1971 by an Aboriginal artist called Harold Thomas, who is descended from the Laurentian people of Central Australia. And it actually holds still the intellectual property rights to the flag's design. The The flag was originally designed for the land rights movement, and it became a symbol of the Aboriginal people of Australia. Now, as we talked previously, it has the three colors on the flag: black representing Aboriginal people of Australia, yellow circle representing the sun, the giver of life and protector, and red representing the red earth. The red is also used in ceremonies and Aboriginal people's spiritual relation to the land. Now, another type or style rather of Aboriginal art that I would like to talk to you about is the desert people art. So as you can see here, I'll come up a bit closer, but this has many dots and lines, many little dots. And another type is this. You must have seen it somewhere, or maybe it's because I live in Australia and I keep seeing these things everywhere lately these days. But I guess before I came to Australia, I had actually no idea about it. So some of you may find this helpful. But this is another type of Aboriginal art. This is a medicine leaf. And I will give you a short story about that in just a little bit. These are obviously just pictures, but this is usually done using acrylic paints on big canvases. And I find it quite beautiful, really, how these leaves, they're quite similar, like each brush stroke looks quite similar, like same size and thickness and so on, just different colors. And they create a movement, genuinely movement. Very cool. So looking at this type of art, the desert art, and this boomerang, this style of artwork belongs to desert people of Central Australia. And the artwork usually represents the stories for hunting and gathering in the traditional country. Now, I actually have a little desert dot art symbol little sheet that tells you a little bit about the symbology. So for example, this one is a star, as you can see, waterhole, which actually looks like what we have here. Would you agree? We have these little holes and movement in between, waterhole. And then they also have clouds of rainbows, fires. This is really cool. I really like this. It says 4 women sitting, and they have another one, 2 people sitting at a campsite. So that's pretty cool. They're really showing people sitting together as a group. Boomerang, killing boomerang, emu tracks, kangaroo tracks, possum tracks, people tracks. This is cool, I think, as well. There's also obviously another one for spears, water or snake as well, water or snake, rain, sitting down, more people dancing in fact, woomera, well hole, water hole, main campsite, well hole. So as you can see, I don't know what you're seeing in this, but I want to say that this is obviously a water hole, maybe even some fire in between, you can say. And this would be rain, this little dots on top of a line. And these things are a bit people tracks, so people sitting down, maybe. Not 100% sure about this little thing here. Wouldn't be the boomerang. Oh, it could be the windbreak. Windbreak, rain, and watering hole. Pretty cool, pretty symbolic. And you usually find that desert art is really to do with the stories. They tell the stories of what is happening, which is why it's very symbolic over here. Now looking at this boomerang here, You see a turtle and you see echidna. There's a story behind this very picture, and I actually think it's interesting. I think the pictures themselves, they're really quite cool. I love animals being drawn as well on art, but there's a story behind echidna and the turtle. So basically, in the beginning of time, the time for Aboriginals is called dream time. People and animals were all friends. They all understood each other. They all spoke with each other, and everything was good and peaceful. It was a utopia. And the turtle and echidna, they were friends. One time, turtle was looking after echidna's babies, youngs, while echidna was away doing her business. And turtle was careless, and some of the youngs were lost. When echidna returned, there was a terrible fight. Echidna threw rocks at a turtle, and turtle threw spears. The spears remained as echidna's quills to remember the loss of his young and his friend. Today, inside turtle's head, you can find a rattle. This is echidna, and the dents on his shell are from the rocks. So that's a bit of a legend about echidna and the turtle. And I find it quite interesting. I actually really like legends, and I think you can learn interesting things. There's a lot of folk tales and stories like that in Russia, so I think that's quite interesting, and it's an interesting one from the Aboriginal people as well.